The Frog Prince from 50 Famous Fairy Tales. One fine evening, a young princess went into a wood and sat down beside a cool spring. She had her favorite plaything, a golden ball. In her hand, she amused herself by tossing it against a tree and catching it again as it bounced back. After a time, she threw the ball so hard that she stretched out her hand to catch it, but the ball bounced away and rolled into the spring. Then the princess began to weep, as if her heart were broken. While she was weeping, a frog popped up and out of the water and said, "Princess, why do you weep so bitterly?" "Alas," she said, "my golden ball has fallen into the spring. I'd give all my jewels if I could have it back." The frog said, "I do not want your jewels, but if you will love me and let me live with you, let me eat from your golden plate and sleep upon your bed, I will bring you your ball." Ugh, thought the princess. I couldn't stand this slimy old thing, but she wanted her ball very much, so, not meaning a word of it, she cried out, "Yes, yes, I promise, only bring me my ball." The frog dived deep under the water. Soon he came up with the ball and threw it on the ground. The princess scooped it up quickly and ran home fast as she could. The frog called after her, "Wait, princess, take me with you as you promised," but she did not even turn around. That night the princess sat down to dinner. She heard a strange noise, thump thump, as if somebody were hopping up a marble staircase on one foot. Soon there was a gentle knock on the door, and a voice said, "Open the door, my princess dear. Open it for your lover here. Remember your promise you gave me, and as you played with your ball 'neath the old oak tree." The princess ran to the door and opened it, and there she saw the frog, whom she had quite forgotten. She was terribly frightened. She slammed the door as fast as she could and came back to her place at the table. The king, her father, asked what had frightened her. "There's a nasty frog at the door," she said. "He brought my ball out of the spring this morning. I promised him that he should live with me, thinking that he would never get out of the spring. But there he is at the door, and he wants to come in." While she was speaking, the frog knocked at the door again. "Open the door, my princess dear. Open it for your lover here. Remember the promise you gave me as you played with the ball 'neath the old oak tree." The king said to the young princess, "If you have made a promise, you must keep it. Go and let him in." The princess pouted and sulked, but she had to obey. The frog hopped into the room and came to the table. Excuse me. "Pray lift me up beside you," he said to the princess, as she had to pick up the cold, slimy creature. Then the frog said, "Put your plate closer to me so I may eat out of it." The princess did so unwillingly, and when he had eaten his fill, the frog said, "Now I'm tired. Carry me upstairs and put me in upon your little bed." The princess took him upstairs and threw him into the closet, but he cried so loudly that she had to let him out for fear that her father would punish her. The frog hopped up on the pillow where he slept all night. As soon as it was light, he jumped up and hopped downstairs up out of the house. "Now," thought the princess, "he is gone. I shall be troubled with him no more." But she was mistaken, for when the night came, she heard the same thumping on the staircase, followed by rapping at the door. When she opened it, the frog came in and slept on her pillow until morning. The third night, he did the same. But when the princess woke, she blinked in amazement. Instead of a frog, there stood a handsome prince with the most beautiful eyes she'd ever seen. "You," she faltered, "you are the frog?" "Yes," he said, "your frog is a prince." Then he told her that he'd been enchanted by a witch and forced to remain as a frog until some princess would let him eat from her plate and sleep from her bed for 3 nights. "You," said the prince, "have broken the cruel charm, and now I have nothing to wish for but that you will be my bride and go to my father's kingdom with me, for I love you dearly." The princess was not long in giving her consent, for a handsome husband is not to be found on one's pillow every day. Just then a splendid carriage, drawn by 8 beautiful horses decked with golden plumes, drove up. The prince and the princess joyfully set out for the prince's kingdom, and where they lived happily for a great many years.